is the other thing, Ben, we don't talk about is like the opposite are my friends who are extremely wealthy. Like the CEO of Wish, the founder of Wish is a buddy of mine, Peter Zasluski, and then so is Dan Bilzerian. These guys are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I know Pascal Mouad, who owns Mouad Jewelry, and then there's a couple of the guys like that where I hang out with every once in a while. My buddy Jeff Franklin, the guy who created Full House. These are guys that are all worth at least $200-300 million. In some case, and Pascal, I think over $1 billion. But like the thing is, when you hang out with these guys, it's quite the opposite. Like they are not as ostentatious. They have the money. They don't. Dan is obviously the example. Dan has the yacht and the helicopter and the private jet. But for the most part, like these guys are the opposite of ostentation, but they're not trying to sell a product. The guys who I see who are actually trying to show, like the guy who just made a little bit money in solar and he's trying to sell you his solar product. That guy is actually showing more women and more bottle service and more Lamborghinis than the guy who actually has all that stuff.
Talk more about that. So what's the guy who's making 10, 20K a month, or maybe they hit their first million? What do they look like versus the person that has the 500 million? What's the big difference there?
It's impossible to say. Like, here's the thing. I think we're getting to a point where people can kind of see through it. You'll notice with me, it's an Apple Watch. I drive an old Lexus. I always wear black t-shirts. I would say I make a pretty good living. I have over 850 clients. The business is fantastically successful. It's an 8-figure business. But you don't ever see signs of wealth in anything I do. And the reason why I personally don't do that is because when I teach you networking, I want to teach you networking using zero money. That's one of the first things I try to teach guys to do. And so if I was sitting there and I was like, hey, throw a huge event, a charity event on your yacht, people would be like, I don't have a fucking yacht. Like, that doesn't work. So for me, I'm like, what you need to do is contact the SPCA, say, hey, we're going to help you with the social media for this gala. And then we're going to invite about 700 female influencers to your event. Then we're going to go on and we're going to create flyers for you, flyers for each individual girl that's coming. And then we're going to try to get some celebrities to come to your event. If I'm the SPCA, I'm like, thank you. Hell yes, let's do that. And that costs you $0 to do what I just explained. And so that's what I try to teach guys to do. So you're saying, it's really funny because there's two parts to this. Number one is not every guy who's doing a coaching program is trying to show ostentatious wealth. There's a few guys I saw. Have you ever seen that one ad on Meta? I actually want to steal this. He was driving in one of those mini like child Lamborghinis, like the real small ones, and he's driving around. Check me out in my Lambo. And he was wearing like a fake crown, and then he was like making fun of all the Lambo bros. That part was really funny. The thing that I do think is funny, I think I heard this from Ryan Pineda. I definitely heard this from Jeremy Miner. And that was the guy in your industry who makes low six figures, who just won't listen. He thinks he knows everything. That is an issue that happens with the low six-figure guy a lot of times. Like, they're a salesperson and they're like, hey, I make $120,000 a year. You can't, these techniques don't work for me. And then like, I know people who make $500,000 a year off just commissions. Like that's, so you don't know what you don't know. For me, I think one of the most important things to do is, like, for instance, my friend Wes Watson.
I'm looking for 5 men who want to learn how to level up their social circle and attract high quality women using nothing but your IG in 5 days. If this is you, hit the link below.
He's probably doing $4 million a month just selling a low ticket offer. So he goes direct to cart, and then he uses text messaging to go back and forth with his clients. And it's really funny because he gives you his actual number when you buy his program. Like, you can actually text him. And the thing with him is he has no sales team. He's doing a low ticket with no sales team, 4 million, 90% profit. I'm doing like maybe 44% profit, and I've got a 15-person sales team, and I'm trying to grow as fast as Wes, but I can't. Like, Wes is just exploding. I try to learn so much from watching him, watching Brad Lee. Ryan Pineda has a 10K program that he's doing right now. He's going to come out with another 3K program, and we go over. So for a 10K, you're going to want a sales team. For a 3K program, you're probably going to go direct to cart. My friend Casey Zander, he has a low ticket offer he's doing. Dan Bilzerian is considering a high ticket or a low ticket offer for his course that he's got coming up. The ultimate low ticket offer, the first one, the one that started it all, was 67 Steps by Ty Lopez. And I talk to Ty sometimes about this whole concept. So these are all really interesting things that you can find. But your original question about ostentatious displays of wealth, I think there's a small subset that it's doing that, and that is the lifestyle and dating guys. Does that make sense? The married guy with kids, he's not going to go that much for the Porsche. Like, he doesn't care quite as much. He just wants to provide for his family and get his kids into a good college. Whereas the guy who's like young and single, why is he doing Amazon FBA? Why is he doing solar? So he can meet hotter women. Those guys, that kind of stuff affects them a little bit more. The Lambo and the pretty girl and the AP watch.